it's Denise here again. Let's have a look at the story because it's moved on a bit now. Do you remember that Jesus was riding into Jerusalem on a donkey and people were cheering and shouting his name and they were waving palms because they were so excited to see him? But now we find Jesus all alone in a garden called Gethsemane, which was outside of the city walls. He was on his own and he was praying. But how did it get to this? Well, one of his disciples called Judas had agreed to betray Jesus to the priests. And so they had sent guards to arrest Jesus in the garden. Another of Jesus' disciples called Peter was very, very afraid and scared at what was happening. But there was something inside of him that made him want to find out what was going to happen to Jesus. And so he followed very quietly at a distance.
Oh, you found me. I've been hiding here all night. I tell you, last night, it was very strange. I'm just so ashamed of what I've done. I mean, right from the word go, when Jesus knelt down and washed our feet, it was going to be very different. After the meal, we all went out to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray, and it was really late. And I just couldn't keep my eyes open. I fell asleep. And when I woke up, I could see there was Jesus ahead of me, just there, and he was praying. And I could see that something was troubling him. And then it all happened. There was a big noise and we could see a light coming through the garden. And it was Judas. And he had some of the priest's guards with him as well. And with that, Judas came up to Jesus and said hello. And the guards, they rushed up and they grabbed hold of Jesus and they tied him up. They had swords, they had spears, they had flaming torches. We were so afraid. Me and the other disciples, we legged it. Well, they grabbed hold of Jesus and they led him out of the garden back to the city. I didn't want to get caught, but I wanted to find out what was going on, so I followed in the distance, in the dark, hiding in the shadows. And they led Jesus into the city, through the streets to the temple, and into the huge courtyard. And there was a great big crowd of people there. And they held on to Jesus there, waiting for the priests to come out. And again, I wanted to find out what was going on. So I hid myself in the temple, in the courts, in the shadows. But it was in the middle of the night and it was freezing. And then some of the servants in the temple, they lit a huge, great big bonfire to keep warm. And I thought, I'll risk it. I need to get some warmth. So I came out and I stood with the rest of them, just keeping my hands warm, watching Jesus over the other side of the courtyard. And then I realised everyone around the fire, they were looking at me. One of the servant girls said, I know you. You're with that Jesus, aren't you? And I said, no. No, I'm not. No. Went on a little bit longer. And one of the guards that was warming himself by the fire said, yes, you are. You've got the same accent as Jesus. You're from the same part of the country as him. No, I'm not. I don't know who this Jesus is. And then another one said, I'm sure you're one of Jesus' friends. You talk just like him. Look, leave me alone, I said. I don't know who this man is. And then somewhere out in the city, a cockerel crowed. And I realised what I'd done. It was just as Jesus had said. He'd said that by the time it got to morning, I would have told people, not just once, not twice, but 3 times, I didn't know him. And I'd just done it. And with that, I got up and I ran out of the courtyard and through the city and out into the town, into the woods to hide. And I found this tree and I've just sat down and I sobbed and I've sobbed and I sobbed. And I've been here all this time. Oh, I am just ashamed of what I've done. I've let Jesus down. Oh, what will people think of me? Look, just leave me alone. so I can just be here on my own.
Hello and welcome back everyone. Today we're going to discuss what it feels like to be let down. Imagine there's a story where you are handed over to other people and then been given money for them to do that. Or maybe you've known your friend for 3 years and then they have no acknowledgement of you and even make out that they don't even know who you are. Have you ever been let down? I remember a time when I was let down by my friend. I was pregnant with my first child and she promised me a baby shower. Now, a baby shower is a small gathering or a party that you have just before the baby's born. You may play games or even they'll give you presents if they wish. Now, it came closer to the time for me to have the baby, where you'd normally have the party. She then turned round to me and said, I'm no longer going to do you a baby shower. I was quite upset about this and very disappointed. Do you remember a time where your friend let you down? Just take a moment to think about this and how you felt, and I will light a candle while we do this.
Hi, let's think for a moment of how we might help someone who has been let down. What might we say to them or help them with? You see, although Peter let Jesus down, Jesus was not finished with Peter. Later in our story, we will see how Jesus seeks to restore Peter back to friendship with him. But that's story for another time. For now, I'd like you to explore together what you could do to help someone who has been let down. Or maybe they are just upset by something else. Whatever the cause of their sadness, what might we do to encourage and help them?